If you're not that person, then who are you?
I don't know.
What do you need?
I don't even know.
Like everyone's dependent on you.
And everything's in my control and I can fix it.
That's a lot of pressure, no?
Like the peak of my sports career, I just never saw them there.
I can't be sad. I can't rejoice in certain spaces. Yeah, I mean, I've got to be pretty much.
I hate you.
You hate me? That's a bit strong. Thanks for watching episode 3 of Re-Engineer Your Life. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, sir, for coming to Re-Engineer Your Life.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Episode 3. And we're going to talk about disciplines. I know you're a very disciplined individual. And I've got a few questions, and I will ask you questions, but generally we're trying to get into a flow of conversation about how discipline has played a role in your life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, question 1: you've built a discipline across 5 different arenas, but discipline that comes from fear looks identical to discipline that comes from genuine drive. Which one do you identify with the most? Oof.
Genuine drive or fear? It's a mixture of both.
Mixture of both? Does it sway one direction more than the other? In fact, I'll ask you, a mixture of both. So when it comes to fear, what fears do you have that kind of drive your discipline?
Fear only really showed up as I got older.
Okay.
When I was younger, it was just drive. I wanted to accomplish things. I wanted to do things. I just like trying stuff. And then as I got older, kids and all that kind of stuff, like get a mortgage, you get all of this stuff, and then more responsibilities mount. The discipline comes from fear of not being here for them or making the wrong mistake to put them in a jeopardizing position.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can identify with fear and discipline driving fear, and through not exactly the same. Once you before having children, I probably would have said I probably would have seen myself as someone who's more focused, but definitely the financial obligation of having children is a motivating factor, but also I feel that not only that, the fear of letting my children down is a huge factor in how I've kind of driven myself.
I think it's the fear of getting it wrong with kids, especially.
I think sometimes there's a combination of. I think in me, I think there's a fear of getting it wrong, but also, paradoxically, fear of getting it right. Because the fear of getting it wrong, fear of getting it right is that kind of, and this is what I'm trying to get to actually, sometimes about the core belief and the core messages that I've learned from various places. So then there's that belief I have, the lack of belief in myself, which is actually the motivating factor, which I don't necessarily think has been at times a healthy thing. Is that something you identify with at all?
What's it like? Where you feel like you don't deserve to get it right.
Yeah, so I would say if there are, I guess another way to reframe that question, are there any kind of negative beliefs or messages that you feel potentially have given your drive and your focus and your discipline?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
So
There's
that's
like-
a bit of digging with Gabriel.
Yeah.
A bit of digging. It takes a while. We're there. And it's okay. So my next question. So what would you say were those early? But it doesn't have to be early messages. But just say, because lots of people will say, what are those early messages you got from childhood? What have those messages been throughout your life? Like what about another question? What's the earliest message you remember? Do you feel has contributed to that?
I think it probably started when I was around 7.
Okay.
I remember because we had just moved. We were in a flat. Like my dad lost everything. We were living in a flat. My little brother had just been born, and we had moved house out of the flat. So I was 7, around 8, and just that period in that house from like age 7 to 15, 16. It all happened then, and it's like, because I'm the middle child, so I've already got middle child syndrome.
Yeah.
And it was just always like little things. Like my older sister, she doesn't do it on purpose, but like when you're talking to her, she likes to multitask. So sometimes it doesn't seem like she's actually listening. And it drove me nuts. And I always felt like people aren't listening to me.
Okay.
So that was one thing. Then I just felt like I always had to. We were in a bad spot. We had, like, my mum and dad did everything that they could to make sure that we had what we needed. But I was always really adventurous, and I wanted more. I always wanted more. So I had to go and get it myself.
Right.
So I remember in year 8, Space Jam had just come out. So I was like, okay, I want to make some money because I want to buy a computer. I think it was like, I wanted a Neo Geo handheld console.
Right.
I wanted that. So I was like, okay, how can I make money? So then I started drawing. I loved art anyway, so I started drawing the Space Jam characters. And everyone was like, oh, that's sick. So I was like, all right, can I try and sell them? I think I made like £4. But still, that was like...
Back then, that's like... That's some
Buy a
Space
house.
Raiders.
No, but, 400 penny straws, you know, the sherbet straws. Yeah, would be that.
And as if you could hustle those at school, man, those straws. Yeah.
Because people were desperate for them, so you buy them for like 1p, you sell them for 5p.
Look at that. Entrepreneur.
Well, yeah, so that was a narrative that has stayed with me, like, from then. It's like, if I want something, no one's coming to give it to me. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's like something that I want, not something that I need. Like if I don't want to like make out like we were in the dirt. Like my mom and dad, like they scraped to get stuff. Like I went to Boston for a ski trip with the school and stuff like that. We did all the school trips and stuff like that as much as they could. But there were moments where they're like, there's no toothpaste and you have to like cut the end and you have to like scrape it out. Like there's all those, standard. Yeah.
I still do that now.
Same. Squeeze a little bit off the corner and then just
squeezing it out.
Well, yeah. So, but everything extra that I wanted, because like you're influenced by people around you, and like a lot of my friends were like Asian, and they have like a really tight knit like family group and stuff, and they're coming, they turn 16 and they've got a car already and all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff, like from the outside, was playing on it, and it did land me in trouble once.
Elaborate.
Damn, I know I should.
You said that. You can't come in and say, "Did you get me in trouble once?" I don't think you're gonna skip past.
Come
on.
I think this is the first time in over 20 years that I've said this. Rotted.
What's the exclusive?
I'm not gonna say like what store it was or anything like that.
Okay.
I was working my Sunday shift, and I think it was like I'd started working in a paper round when I was 15, so I'd like I started getting like proper taste of money then. But then I started working in this store, and money was better. And I remember buying like my first paycheck. It was just Sundays, but it was time and a half. So I was like, yeah. I remember going and getting my Nike TNs.
Which ones? The first ones? The blue ones?
No, it was like, so ones with like the luminous orange. I bought those, £120 then. And I was like, okay, cool, sick. Started getting a taste for money. These boys are coming in like, oh, my dad just bought me a car. New Corsa, this got this and this boy's got this, and I was like, rah, I need money. So started clocking cameras, started clocking what time people came to check tills and all that kind of stuff. I started finessing the tills until they clocked it. I got cautioned for it. But I think that moment that I was in a cell and everything. It's mad. And then my mum and my dad came, and the disappointment on their face. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, I think that's...
But do you think, because earlier you said you didn't, you didn't, it sounds as if your mum and dad were too busy because they're trying to provide for you. It sounds as if your sister potentially maybe wasn't too busy, but because she's multitasking.
Well, all the focus was on my siblings.
Focus on the siblings, right?
I felt like everything was on the siblings.
So, in that instance, there was no one to validate you.
Yeah, I always felt like I was by myself in most situations.
Okay.
So it's like I
Bit of a lone wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So every situation I went into, it was always, I have my back. It wasn't like, I have a squad around me. It just felt like it was just me.
Okay. I completely identify. I'm trying to think if there's any stories like that in my closet. Trying to think of any particular instance. Nothing's come to light now, but I'm sure as we go through the questions, something will come up. So, okay, move on to the next question. Well, I think we pretty much covered it, really, but we'll ask the question and see if anything else comes up. So, where does your discipline come from? Was it built through pain, or did someone show you what it looked like first?
There's an element of it that it's kind of split across a few things. But I think the discipline to there's like baseline discipline, which I think I got from cadets, which is what I'm grateful that my dad got me involved in Army Cadets.
I was a Sea Cadet.
Oh, is it?
We got some TS Endeavour.
We used to take the piss out of you lot. Yeah, Army Cadets was eye-opening, especially like summer camps. We go away for 2 weeks, and it's just us. We have to rely on each other to, stay safe. Like when we do like exercises where we're out in the fields for 4 days straight, and we just have our rations, we have our bottles, we're sleeping in our kit. We get back and we're like filth. I remember I had like sheep ticks in my leg and all kinds of stuff. I had infection in my ear and all that madness. But just when all of that's said and done, you go back to the barracks and then you have to get ready. Your bed has to always be neat, always made. Your boots have to be shining. Your trousers have to be ironed. to this day, sometimes I'm going to call out Naisha on this one.
Oh dear. You sure you want to do this? She's going to be watching.
No, because like sometimes she's just like, oh, I don't need to iron that. It's nothing bad. She's like, oh, I don't need to iron that. The creases will drop out. I'm militant with ironing. It has to be ironed. You can't. I can't leave. Even if it could be under a jumper. The t-shirt needs to be ironed.
So you're appreciative when I turn those bumper plates round.
100.
And also, the bumper plates were a little bit. So I straightened them all out as my OCD.
And I don't know whether that fueled the OCD or whether that created the OCD, but like I would spend hours polishing my boots that you could see my reflection in it.
It was a vicious circle.
And then like making sure my beret was perfectly pressed. It was just, but then some of the discipline as well, there's, as with all of our parents, there's areas that you want to emulate and areas that you want to correct. The areas I wanted to emulate was a lot of the discipline focused stuff of like, I'm working on this and I'm getting it done. And it was always like, finish first. Mm-hmm. But the core thing was always like, finish. I wasn't so good at that, but in the early days, but the core was finish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's nice that you said about, we're not nice, I can identify with it. Well, more of a case is, I feel we are the map of our parents. So I've been, where does your discipline come from? Was it built through pain or did someone show you it? I feel from, oh God, be mindful how I frame this. Because they've been watching the family, so it'll be careful how I frame it. But I think it's the lack of seeing people finish things. Like people saying, I'm going to do this, and then not seeing that thing materialise and not seeing it happen. And I've found it extremely frustrating. So I'm a finisher. Like I will find a way. For example, we started working together. It came to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. But now you're here now. So it's like, there's no way this wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
An incident happened this morning with a guest. They couldn't turn up. It was like, the show goes on. Like if I say I'm going to do something, if I'm going to say I'm going to start a certain time and finish a certain time, but that has happened. The first thing I do in the morning, looking at the cadets, no matter what, if nothing else gets done, you've got to make your bed. Yeah. That must be like I think it's like, yeah, that's ingrained in me, and what I really noticed about you is your and this is where your attention to detail comes from. Because on a lot of your social, man, we just watched some of it when you came and looking at it thinking that is meticulously, every cut is meticulously planned. Yeah. Like storyboarded. So it's kind of twofold, isn't it? It's kind of it can be a blessing in some ways.
And a hell of a curse.
Hell of a curse.
Because even sometimes just touching on content, I'm just like, I'll edit stuff to a point where, and I know that's kind of what filmmaking is. Like you edit it so you just get someone to feel something, but they don't know why they feel it. But then sometimes Naisha's looking at me and I'm like, I'm like, I need to trim that back by like 0.5 seconds. She's like, no one will tell, but I will tell.
You'll both tell.
And every time I watch it, it will annoy me. And I think like when I'm making content, I'm like, I need to, if it makes me laugh and I can go back to it multiple times, or it makes me feel something, I go back to it multiple times, and it still has that same feeling. And I'm not like, I don't like this, or I don't like that. That's a better feeling. It will get to the point where like, I won't like something in it, but then that's something to improve for the next time. But I don't want it to, things that stick out like a sore thumb to me, just brush over it because no one else will see it, but I see it. So that slows down the process sometimes so much that like my output gets reduced because I'm so focused on making it right.
Okay. All right. I hear you on that one. You're making things right. Very similar personalities. Okay, the next question. All right, getting in. You started your fitness journey because you were struggling with your weight. What did that version of you not know about discipline that you know now?
I think that daily actions compound. Because I was a skinny boy. I was mager. I was so thin. I was like, I need girls to look at me. As that was literally I was like, I need to put on weight. I need to put on the muscle.
Girls,
I need
look
yeah
at
to
me.
look at me. So I started training, but then as I'm training, I'm like, luckily my best friend JK, he was like, he had been training for a while. So he was my training partner. So, you know, show me the basics and all that kind of stuff. And we just go every day. And I think it was that, just do a little bit every day.
To the point where you became a national natural bodybuilding champion, right?
Yeah. And I wasn't even on the cards. That was a side quest. It's when I first started training. So it's like my timeline was, I need to get girls. Then I started playing American football. Then it was like, I need to run faster, hit harder, jump higher. And then I started the YouTube scene, and then it was, I want to explore bodybuilding. And then again, it was just like, but it's just like evolutions of the same thing, just for a different outcome.
Yeah, I guess the output changes, isn't it? Like training for hypertrophy versus training for power and speed, versus training for a specific sport.
Yeah.
So your main focus back then was for chasing women,
Vanity.
or women with vanity.
Yeah.
How did your training evolve?
The key focuses was always just get strong. Get strong, build speed. I was sprinting a lot. I was box jumps, or then those that plyometrics was always on the cards. Even into bodybuilding, like after maybe the first 2 competitions, the coach that I had implemented a lot of plyometrics, sprinting as my cardio rather than doing the typical walking on the treadmill for like 30 minutes.
That explains your jiu-jitsu, doesn't it? Explosive.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
It's always like...
Explains a lot. And how do you feel that has changed? Because how old were you when you started your bodybuilding? Your first phase of training when you wanted to get attention from women?
Well, I'd say sport started for me from when I was in school.
Okay.
Like athletics and all that kind of stuff. I remember back in primary school, my first sports day cleaned up everything. Still got the plaque at home, cleaned up everything.
You sound like Uncle Rick from remember Uncle Rick from Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
You sound like Uncle Rick. Way back in 1975. I won everything. Win medals. Uncle Rick from the Queen from that one.
But then so like sports and stuff has always been in the background. Bodybuilding stuff started when I was 28. And it was like, I say I fell into it accidentally because it was 2012. I wanted to leave my corporate job. I was working in recruitment. So I was like, I'd been planning to become a PT and start my own PT business and whatnot. My original plan was to do summer camps for kids.
That's where the money is.
And it was a wicked concept as well. It was like, nothing was labeled as a different sport. It was just working on just general motor functions with just skill-based games that translate into sport later down the line. So then I was like, oh, how can I do that? And I was like, oh, maybe if I train like parents, I could maybe get in that way because I need money now. So I started doing personal training, and then I started a YouTube channel. And I was like, I'm just going to give out all the information that I wish I had at uni. And that's going to be my basis of the YouTube channel. And then to also try and promote my website and get clients and blah, blah, blah. Then the guy that I was working with at the time, he was like, I'll check out these guys on YouTube. So I think one of them was Chris Jones, Beast Mode Jones. I'm not sure if you heard of him. But he was just doing bodybuilding stuff. And I was like, oh, bodybuilding. Then I met a woman, what's her name? Yvette. She was big. She was like bionic woman. She's on the treadmill. She's just pacing, but she was slim but jacked. And she was like, oh, you should try. Whilst I was doing like my deadlifts for American football, she was like, oh, you should try bodybuilding. Connected the dots, and I was like, well, I could use that to show the process of dieting and stuff, to step on stage and document that and post it on YouTube. And that's what I did. Then first comp, I won, and then that kind of just set a catalyst. It was also the year that I met Naisha. Everything happened that year. I met Naisha that year. She was doing fitness modeling as well. She was competing in the same thing. And I was like, wow, there's girls that do fitness. It was just mind blowing. I was like, she has abs.
Like your brain always does. I see it in your eyes. Connecting the dots.
So then, that's what kicked that off. And then I was like, I just stayed in it for a little while. It's the basis of my whole YouTube channel. Ended up helping a lot of people. So,
and how's now that you're a competitive jiu-jitsu athlete, that's your main focus, right? Jiu-jitsu. How's your training changed from, like, what do you do more? What do you feel you do more of now? Is it still strength and power-based training? Is it like hypertrophy and strength-based training, or you do more S&C, or is it just a case of now we get older, just maintaining what you got? Or there's still any goals? You've still got any fitness goals left?
Yeah, I want to.
Seems like you've accomplished pretty much. We've got those medals: jiu-jitsu, bodybuilding, American football. Is there anything else left? What's next? Well, I know you're competing in London Open in a couple of weeks. What's the obviously the focus is a gold medal, right?
Yeah, 100%,
yeah,
always.
And what's the process been? What's the training been like for that?
So the past 6 months, like they've told me that there was issue. I had small kidney stones. Where did that come from? Then my gallbladder keeps playing up and stuff like that. There's a sense of mortality that shows up once you get older.
Yep, I know all about that one.
And I think I just had to shift a couple things. Like everything's always been fitness first, not the gym, but I've always thought fitness first. But now I think the main change is I can't operate in anything if my health is declining. So the priorities are my sleep, water, food, and training. That gets booked into my diary before anything else. So I don't look at anything else. You could tell me we have a meeting at 8 o'clock. I'll be like, I can't make that one because I have to go to gym. And it's happened a couple of times. And there's always room to reschedule. And it's not always going to happen so cleanly, and there'll be times where you have to compromise and stuff. But as long as my mindset is always those things go in first, then it will never be put on the back foot.
Yeah, some people don't get it. I've had the rolling eyes. And I said, and I've had, can we do this with the kids? I was like, no, I've got to go to gym, sorry. But my mortality, my first-hand experience with mortality, with being diagnosed with cancer, I'm like, the one thing that saved me is training.
Yeah.
Both physically and mentally. And I think I've got to a phase where it's kind of weird. Like, I've got good results now for the cancer, and things I started to get quite lax. Not. I'm still training as much as I've always trained, but there's the timing of when I'm doing it is very haphazard, and that's why I entered the competition. I was like, I got to enter a competition, because if I enter the competition, I'm going to be watching everything I put in my mouth, so I'm going to have to make weight. I'm going to make sure I hydrate properly. I'm going to be doing regular sessions. To a degree, it's going to be some sort of periodization, getting closer to competitions. That mean I'm not doing any strength training at the moment. There's no time for strength. Every hour I have spare on a timetable is jiu-jitsu. There's no point in doing strength now, so I'm not going to get any stronger. What I need to work on is skills acquisition. That's it. So I found that like jiu-jitsu, again, I spoke about this last episode. Sorry, people, you're going to hear a lot about jiu-jitsu. But jiu-jitsu competition, really, win, lose, draw, the discipline and the focus. And I have to be really mindful about how I structure time. Like, I can't just do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I've done just jiu-jitsu before, like, bun you lot. And I talk to about my kids. Bun you lot, I'm competing. It's very costly. It's very costly. I mean, you lose your family over jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I mean? There's more than that. I didn't lose my family. I lost my family over jiu-jitsu. I didn't leave them with jiu-jitsu, but I was very like OCD, tunnel vision. And I couldn't really see the wood for the trees.
Actually, something that you said, you asked me whether the discipline comes from a positive or negative space.
See, the dots. See, I told you. The dots.
Maybe a little bit negative, but it's created a positive outcome.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? A little bit negative.
I'm always the Mr. Fix-It. I'm the Mr. Fix-It of the family.
Yeah.
And because like I've always had to like sort stuff out myself, it's always, I can figure it out. So going to the doctors and them going, okay, so you've got 2 small kidney stones. I can fix that. Then they're like, oh, your blood pressure's a bit high. Don't worry, I can fix that. Oh, your gallbladder, you had another gallbladder attack. And I was like, I can fix it. Straight home, research. I'm looking up every single protocol. I'm looking at like the why doctor's advice and actual advice and the advice that will help. Why is it so different? Because even with the gallbladder, there's like, they tell you cut fats. It's like, but your gallbladder needs fats. Like everything in our life is use it or lose it. If you don't train your muscles, you'll lose it. If you don't train your mind, you lose it. If you don't feed the gallbladder what it needs, it's gonna tank. So it's like I went through all that research and I'm like, I can fix it. It's like, let's book bloods again and I can fix it. And everything's in my control and I can fix it.
That's a lot of pressure, no?
Yeah, and it's it's pressure that I've put on myself most of the
That's
time.
a lot of pressure to be that person.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's not just for you, is it? It's for everyone. It's for
with
Naisha,
like,
you can fix her.
With Elijah,
The kids.
like he wants to become a pro footballer. I'm like,
You can fix
we
that.
do it. Yeah. Like I've done the strength and conditioning training. I've done like the speed work. I can fix his speed. I can fix his agility. I can do whatever. And it makes it worse when I do it and it works. Then I'm like, okay, so I've just validated.
So I guess, God, we spent a lot of time on this question, but I've got one more. So what do you think, right, is known all about, and knowing it comes from a negative place, some of it, but you feel like you need to fix it, but you need to feel that it's quite a codependent way of thinking, though. Like everyone's dependent on you.
I feel like everyone is.
Or you feel like they are they actually dependent on you? Or was that your?
Sometimes
or,
no,
or,
but
or,
I can fix it.
or was that? Or was that? Or was
I
that?
knew he was gonna bring shit.
Or is that your? That's the role that you have chosen, no?
Yeah, because
Because if you're not that person, then who are you?
I don't even know. I don't know. It's even like my mum. Like I got a vision board, and one of them is like a picture of my mum and dad, and then a big stack of money, and then travel tickets. To just send them traveling, just relax. That I need to do that. Her bathroom needs doing. I'm doing it, like myself, DIY.
What do you need?
I don't know. Come on the podcast.
I knew this way. I know from the conversations that we had, and do you know what? Because these are the things I've had to seriously. This is the work I've had to do myself. That is what this is all about. Like the amount of pressure as a man, as a black man in excuse my French, as a black man in the UK, in white spaces. It's difficult. The mask is always on, no matter where we are. It's really difficult to take your mask off. It's so difficult to take this mask off because I can't be angry. I can't be sad. I can't rejoice in certain spaces. Yeah, I mean, I've got to be pretty much cool hand Luke, like all the time.
Even like I noticed, we went to the parade, the Arsenal parade, and normally my oldest son Elijah, he's always like, he's really bubbly. He's always like, especially at home, and I love the fact that he's so bubbly and out there at home. He feels comfortable to do it. When we're out, and I saw it especially at the parade, he had this militant kind of prowess about him, where he's like standing, and I was like, he's emulating what I do, because whenever I'm out, especially when I'm out with the kids, it's risk assessment, it's people control. Where are the kids in proximity to me? What does this guy look like? Because there's mad people, and so I'm always just stern, and he's emulating the same thing.
That was something you probably learned in cadets, right?
Yeah.
And as a martial artist, you do that anyway.
Yeah.
The best form of defense is avoiding the situation in the first place. So I'm always in tune. Like, I don't know if from your body language, if you're like this, or if you're like this, what I can expect, like whether it's going to be someone's going to try and attack, or whether they're quite passive.
But is it a good thing I was questioning myself, is it a good thing that I wanted like Elijah to just enjoy himself?
Yeah.
I'm there to do that. It's my job. Like everyone, you lot have fun, it's my job, I need to watch.
That's the role of a parent for sure. But I guess, you know what, what you're saying kind of ties really nicely into the next question, which is, your sons are watching everything. What are you still working on in yourself, but you hope they don't pick up before you fix it?
I hate you.
You hate me? That's a bit strong.
It's because, and I only say that because I've just clocked it's something I haven't even thought about working on yet.
Okay.
And here's the fact that I have to do everything. Because besides that caution thing, it didn't even stop there. I was just smarter about certain things.
Okay. No more detail required. I can imagine.
Not much detail on that. But it was, yeah. Let me not
Incriminate
myself.
Okay.
But
Say no more.
yeah, there was always that want of more and obsession over material things. The material things has dropped a lot, but the thing of like just needing to get things. Because I think my thoughts for, especially when they go to secondary school, is that they're influenced by all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the added pressure that I feel is that I don't want them to come home and think, oh man, I can't get that because dad's going to say we don't have money for that. Because then they'll go and figure out how to get it themselves, if they're anything like me.
So do you think that stems from you not being able to have it with your parents?
Yeah.
Like you're trying to kind of rewrite that in your children's lifetime?
Yeah. I want them to understand that it's not everything that they can get, but I don't want them to feel like they can never ask for things because they preempt the answer is going to be no.
Okay. Okay, but there's a fine line though, isn't there?
Mm.
Between them getting what they need and you not putting too much pressure on yourself. Because I think what I've learned, trust me, I'm a go-getter. I'm like, I will hustle. I've never gone without, and my kids never gone without. Well, I say that. I say they never gone without, but that's actually not true. Materialistically, they get whatever they want. Or what they really need is this time. The one thing that you can't get back with your kids is time.
Mm.
Again, having had that like 2 years of treatment just made me realise like, and I'm even in this phase right now with work where I'm like, what the heck is this? I think the good thing is, the most important, you're never going to get this sort of stuff. Even when you've done the work, you're never going to get it right, but you'll have the awareness of when it's not.
Yeah.
So I have the awareness right now, but me doing X amount of days a month, and me not seeing the children as frequently. Like, so today we're doing this. As soon as this is done, me and the kids are going. We're going swimming. I mean, we're doing something. We're doing something for the next. I mean, I'm. Time is the most important thing, but I can give my children, and anything else is a bonus.
And I think like I'm slightly opposite, and it affects my work. And this is where like people say, oh, work-life balance. Oh, there's no such thing as balance. No such thing as balance. Like I'm always like, oh, what can we do with the kids? I need to make more money so we can do X, Y, Z with the kids. And then work will suffer because I'm already putting the health first, then it's the kids and what they need. Then Aisha's always saying to me, you can't do everything.
So she acknowledges that as well then?
Yeah. She knows that, and I think she brings a sense of balance in a lot of situations, because like I will rush to do certain things and I'll be like, I need to do this, Oh, I can't do that meeting because I need to take Elijah to football. Because I don't want one of his core memories to be like, oh, Dad didn't come to football. Because even...
Come on. It's funny, your core memory to your dad, no?
Yeah, I don't think like the peak of my sports career, I just never saw them there. and it just, and I don't know whether like I've then taken that period from like 17 to 30 of like them not being at my sporting events, and then I've then replaced memories from before. I can't remember whether they were there when I was younger, but the feeling I get is like I was playing it. I've played in Crystal Palace Stadium with the London Olympians.
Right.
It was my starting game. I'd just joined the team, and that was the summer after, like, I'd been selected to train with the Great Britain Lions. So it's like the same coach and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm meant to be on the bench for the first game. My sister came, older sister came. She was the only person that came. And the game was nuts. Like the guy came off, what was his name, X. He was playing my position. They brought him off and they were like, Gabriel, it's your turn. See the running back coming through the A gap, and I lit him up stupidly. They've got a picture of it in a newspaper clipping. It was tremendous.
Is that where the takedowns come down, right?
Bro, like
double legs.
Because the guy that coached me a lot when I was playing in Bristol, he was like, when someone's running towards you, set your base and see what they're doing. Just watch their hips where they're going, and it will just, like, again, the dots connected. And I just set, and then I was like, whoa, boom! I just laid just off the ground on top, and he was just out. And I was like, those are like big moments. But none of them were there. And I don't want that to repeat. I don't want Elijah to score like a screamer of a goal, or Ezra to do something mad at gymnastics, and then it's like, oh, where's that?
Oh man, yeah. Exactly. I just remember, it's like my earliest sport, my earliest recognition of sport was karate. And my parents didn't even take me. I used to have to walk. My parents didn't want to take me sometimes. I walked from where I lived down in Addiscombe all the way out to Shrublands to train sometimes.
Oh,
so I used to take myself up there. But also, like in later life, if you've asked them what I do, what's your son? What does he do?
See that one there?
Oh, something to do with something to do with fixing televisions.
See that one there? See that one there?
Something to that. It's like, come on, man. Like I've travelled around the world, like working on. This is the thing. I've worked on some of the biggest events, from Olympics. No, I'm done. So you know what? I cut out. I was like, I don't need. I had to tell myself, I don't need to do Olympics. I don't need to prove it to anybody now. I've done athletics world championships. I've been to Brazil for a World Cup. I've worked on Premier League football for the past, God knows how many years, 20 years. I've worked on Champions League, all in some sort of senior-ish role, you know, like in doing engineering. If you ask my parents what I do, they'd probably say, he's a cameraman, or he does sound. Like, I don't do sound. Like, yeah, so, and even think about when I closed my gym, which was last year, I was like, I don't know how many times my parents have actually been here. I don't know how many times. I think my dad helped me to do something to fit up, but I don't think. I'm not sure if I think my mum might have seen it once, or driven past it and said, Mum, that's my business. I think so I did that. I was always looking for, like, waiting for them to validate.
Yeah.
To I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Do you find that, like,
I'm here. I'm here.
because it's not there, do you block it out? I feel like I suppress it. I secretly want it, but I suppress it.
I think I definitely pushed down. Like I found a way to turn that emotional tap off whenever it came up and push it down. And then that added to my discipline and my focus, and I'm just here.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly the same.
And whenever I feel it, whenever I used to feel it here, I can push it down with the focus.
Yeah. I think that's a.
But that's why this is here. This is why Engineering Life's here. Because I was like, and I was in bed sick. I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can't train. I can't go to work. I'm just sat here looking at a tree in my bedroom, listening to meditation music, and that's where all this shit stuff came from. The 10 principles. If you didn't know, this is principle 3, discipline.
Yeah.
The healthy discipline versus unhealthy discipline. Okay. Got a few more questions. Let's move on to the next one. But to be quite honest, we've covered a lot of the answers already. So most men confuse routine with discipline. What's the difference, and how do you know which one you're actually practicing?
This is a recent one as well, actually. Because routine, like I've always been about routine. I need routine. Like if you break my routine, it's like, no, I need to do that. But then you have to check yourself sometimes. Because I realized that just because it's a routine doesn't mean it's good. Your brain is just associating certain things within your routine. So I had to look at so when I get back from the gym, I keep doing this. But that's not moving the needle on anything. That's actually probably making things worse. So it's part of the routine because I just do it every day. But I need to cut it because it's not actually helping anything. It's not helping me, it's not helping family, it's not helping anyone. It's just maybe like a guilty pleasure or like just something that you just do, and then but you have to take the time to like. I internally assess a lot, probably more than is healthy, but like I'll internally assess to the point where it feels like I'm having a conversation in my head. Because there's just like, I think I question everything. Everything needs to be questioned, everything needs to be pulled apart, everything needs to be understood within myself, within things around me. Just sometimes good and sometimes bad.
We're very similar characters. I have had to learn. You know what? Because so many people, I don't know if you can identify, so many people said it to me, like, no, whatever, you're so hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself. Because I'm like, that's going to be done then. This is going to be done then. That wasn't right. This isn't right. These are the wrong metrics. It needs to be better. And I think, and I've always thought that's a good trait to have. It's a good trait to have, no? To have that sort of discipline. But and to have that sort of routine as well. But some days when things just don't, like, for example, today things things didn't go to plan. They didn't go to plan. You know what? Sometimes they won't go to plan. They don't, and it's like what I realise now is there are times when I absolutely have to relinquish control. But I think I understand. And what I had to understand is, why is it I'm trying to control everything? Why do I need to why does everything need to be in the right place all the time? And that's just like, it's my coping mechanism. It's my my maladaptive coping strategies. It's a way of me keeping myself safe. But it doesn't always keep me safe. What it actually does is sometimes it doesn't keep me safe. It does the opposite, and it actually stops me from experiencing new things. Or it stops me from seeing things in a different light, or it can make me responsible for somebody else's thing. Like this thing happened this morning. You know, a guest was supposed to turn up. I was supposed to do 2 episodes. The other guest didn't turn up. I would have internalized that shit and made that about me. In fact, I actually started to. Oh, I did not call them yesterday.
Sorry.
I didn't call them yesterday.
That is, oh my God.
I didn't call them yesterday, but no, I called them last week. They had a call sheet. Everyone got a call sheet. Everyone got the call sheet. Is what a call sheet. I called my assistant, and I can start making some money out of this, and I can have some people doing it. Right now, AI is doing the thing, but I can make that about me, and I was able to like process it. You know what? We sat here, we chilled, and he was able to say, well, actually, given the past 78 hours, 78, where from 72 hours, past couple of days, right? I probably needed to have that bit of rest and not try and do 2 episodes today. I probably needed that time so I can have some time to myself and recuperate later. So now I'm really glad I have the awareness of when. It's again, this stuff, it's just about awareness.
The internalizing
Awareness and not internalizing absolutely everything, not everything. It's a form of grandiosity, really, making myself responsible for everything.
Do you know who exacerbated that for me? Gary Vee.
Yeah.
There's a quote that he said that's always sticks in my head, and even though I know that it's not 100% true, it still sticks in my head, and for me to act on it. He said, "Everything is my fault." And I was like, and every time something happens, I'm like, it was my fault because of X, Y, Z, because I didn't.
I mean, Gary Vee's great at marketing, but I'm not sure if he's very good at giving advice on.
Yeah, and then I hear myself saying it to myself, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But then I'll still validate it because it gives me a sense of control.
Okay. Oh, we gone in, didn't we? No, gone in deep. Some stuff to go away and think about. But before you go away and think about anything, I want to know what's going to be on your playlist. Because I know you're competing in the London Open. I'm not sure if this episode will be out before or probably be out after, right? But what free throw songs are you using? What top 3 songs in your playlist are you using to help you motivate you for getting ready for competition? What song's going to get you G'd up and ready to do that? You know, you described that glorious tackle, right? What's going to get you G'd up to do that? Do the same thing at London Open.
It's weird because I have build up music, and then I have like go time music.
Oh, so it's to trigger the switch. Okay.
So my
Programmed in.
build up music. This one's going to be controversial because of what he's done, but Gets.
Which particular Gets tune?
There's 2. There's one from Conflict of Interest, Fine Wine, the first track. It just would like, there's something that my brother-in-law always says, because sometimes like I'll question things in my head of like, oh, what am I right for that? And he was like, respect your gangster. He was like, look at what you've done, and Fine Wine is a reminder of like I've done a lot. And I can't let myself forget that even if I'm not where I want to be exactly right now, look back and realize like where you've come. So Fine Wine's the first one. Second one is from his, is it On Purpose, With Purpose? Not the most recent one, the one before, Anakin, Red Saber. Everyone's got that dark side. Everyone's got that Darth Vader in them. And that whole song is him like talking about that side of him. And everyone has it, and I have it. When we step on the mats, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And then the third one is like, it's so cliche, but Roy Jones, Can't Be Touched. I just had that. The amount, I've listened to that song maybe 200-300 times, and it gives me the same feeling every time. People tell me it's ADHD, but I just, it just has the same feeling every time. So yeah, those three.
Well, Gabriel, thank you very much for coming to the Engineer Your Life. It's been a pleasure.
You made me talk about stuff.
Talk about stuff you didn't want to talk about, which is why you didn't want to come. But thank you thank you for coming to talk about it anyway.
It was good. It was good to talk about it.